A lot of y'all who are new to this, you guys are making the same goddamn mistakes as everyone else. I really do try to explain it over and over again. Every time there's new people, it's easier for me to make a video and hope that 10 people watch it than it is for me to answer 10 people's questions in chat. If you don't have an actual profile, you're a fucking troll. You're not going to do anything good. I know this for a fact. When adults ask you to keep a fucking secret, they're not doing anything good. Remember that. If you do something fucked up, if you make one of these fake accounts and you pretend to be somebody else, you fucking manipulate me and lie to me and make false fucking promises and take advantage of my disabilities and my time and my resources. There are no repercussions for you. You're hiding behind a fucking keyboard. I'm not hiding who I am. That's the kind of help that disabled people get when they're alone. People keep giving me the idea of, have you tried talking to the police? There's over 100 interactions with the police recorded on this YouTube. Yes, I fucking tried going to the goddamn cops. No offense. A lot of my trolls, they stick around. The people who promise to help, they don't. They make empty promises and then they fucking fizzle out. They make some excuse and fucking some big catastrophe disaster is showing up in their area or some mysterious illness is afflicted. Fuck it. See, it's so that people don't have to go through this kind of shit. That we have these laws that are supposed to protect someone like me, and we have these agencies that are supposed to protect someone like me. And then the police, I am more vulnerable than most people. They're supposed to do something about it, aren't they? Something other than try to assume the worst in me. That's the problem here, is that people didn't care about what was going on. They didn't care about me at all. All they cared about was themselves, their reputation, what people thought of them, not caring that the whole time an innocent person is being fucking harmed and they're doing everything in their fucking power to make it worse for me. And they don't care that they're making it worse. That is why Candace Bondurant is the worst friend I ever had. That was my one chance to be able to fucking defend myself. And she manipulated and fucking contorted that goddamn situation so that I had to go back into hell off of lies. Now, either she lied about that situation with that officer, or that officer, Michael Beard, needed to have charges pressed against him. I am a disabled adult. I cannot defend myself. I am not allowed. Now, Star Magia, she types to me tonight. She types, hey, I found so many pages stating all the rights of people with said to have a mental illness. Things about a proxy, power of attorney. I don't really understand it, but I can look it up some more. I typed, I already did all of that. I don't have anyone to act as power of attorney. No guardian, no advocate, nothing. See, that's the thing, is that without those things, which I have explained from day one, I have nobody in person, nobody to bear witness, nobody to care about my rights or my fucking safety. Well, I have to deal with a bunch of strangers I don't know from fucking Adam. I don't know these people. I don't know any of them. For all I know, they could be alcoholics like Shannon Alvarado or meth addicts like Brett Roloff. Here's She don't mean nothing by it. Just like the 300 people before that came and went didn't mean nothing by it. Yeah, I know I need a power of attorney. People keep telling me to look into the elder laws too. It doesn't matter if I look into them or not. The elder laws don't apply to me unless someone cares. Disability laws only apply to me if someone cares. That's the thing about the Constitution, is that you tell me all these soldiers fighting in a foreign country are fighting for my rights. If they're fighting for my rights, then I would have them. You write special rights because you want to be paranoid of me. You want to be paranoid of disabled people that you don't want to understand. And then these police used that. So did Natalie Bollinger. Every person in America knows that they can do that. The problem is, once you've got that tag, people can do whatever they want. You need a power of attorney. You need a guardian. You need an advocate there in person. My advocate cannot advocate for me. She has made that loud and fucking clear. She wasn't communicating with the police. The police weren't communicating with her. Meanwhile, they thought that she was supposed to be a fucking go-between. So did I. She kept explaining that she's not a go-between. I explained to you guys all of this. This is 4 years of me explaining this shit. I followed the laws. Nobody fucking listened. And then they avoid the situation, ignore the evidence until I have a fucking meltdown over the abuse that they're literally doing nothing about. And then they're making excuses. You notice that I went to the police on multiple occasions to try to turn in my predators and the officers who literally took part in the predatory acts. My guilt was just assumed, and they played on the term mentally ill in order to get away with it. All across the fucking country. You can't tell on cops. If they can call you mentally ill, you're fucked. That's it. Unless you have someone who gives a shit in person, in person, in person, in fucking person, in person. Not somebody who's gonna sit there fucking drunk. Not somebody who is not gonna take any time to understand what the fuck is going on or take a look at any evidence. I mean, through all of this, Molly, her having to have surgery, is that my fucking fault? No, it's not. Just one of hundreds of situations that people typed to me and told me about as their excuse for not keeping their word. Hundreds. When it leads to people being harmed, to people being framed for crimes that they didn't commit, when it comes to blaming all of your fucking societal problems on the disabled and the homeless, you need to fucking stop. You need to stop denying us help. You need to stop thinking that, well, I want you to take a look at these situations worldwide where people step up and speak up. It does make a difference. My predators had no problem speaking up. Anyone who spoke up for me, they threatened. And nobody fucking cared about that. I am overwhelmed because I can't possibly do all of these things. And they prey on that. I am overwhelmed. There is no possible way that one human being can do all of this, especially while being abused. This is Clearview.
Keeping the kids busy.
Well, we'll block out the ads so we don't get kicked off of fucking YouTube for that shit, right?
Insiders are calling it an historic move. Nearly 2 years after Denver 7 Investigates first exposed problems with patient care inside Clearview Behavioral Health, the state suspended its license and shut it down.
We've aired more than a dozen reports exposing critical failures behind closed doors at Clearview, including accusations.
These guys were complete fucking pieces of shit. It says Medicare and Medicaid fraud, no doubt. Patients held longer than medically necessary. Absolutely.
Of Medicare and Medicaid fraud.
Theft from patients. Yep.
Holding patients longer than medically necessary. Even accusations of staff stealing from patients.
And we've uncovered the death of a father of two who was given powerful drugs and left unattended. Chief Investigator Tony Kovaleski has been uncovering the truth since January 2019. Tony, this started with one dad, one patient.
And one phone call, and his son was
after.
being kept inside against the family's wishes longer than they wanted. He started the story. Dozens of others called with other even more disturbing complaints, all describing Clearview.
These guys started the story. I've been speaking out. I've been speaking out about Clearview since I was in Clearview. In February, the end of January, and the beginning of February of 2018, I was in Clearview. I told y'all how they were fucking treating us. This is what police do. The medical community does what the police ask, what the police want, including injecting dead people with drugs. Then they get to pass it off as the ambulance driver's fault or the fucking EMT's fault or whoever's fault. Anyone's fault but the police officer who's trying to fucking suffocate you to death. Or the police officer who's trying to fucking break your arm and then claiming that because you're moving, that's why you tried to break your arm. No, you tried to break my arm first, motherfucker. That's what all of these predators played along. They pushed me and pushed me and pushed me and pressed my fucking buttons, backed me into a corner, poked me with a stick, stole from me, and kept on doing the shit over and over and over again and getting away with it because of the tag of mentally ill. At no point in time was I ever allowed the same rights that you have. And no matter how many times I explain that, you say I'm making excuses. I show you the laws and the things that they're doing to manipulate it. And you still just look away and pretend that I didn't show shit. You pretend that it's fucking invisible. I can't see my loved ones because I was the fucking good guy. I can't see my loved ones because sober people in my life really don't give a shit. The only people who actually accepted me were the fucking druggies. Why is that? Because they're the outcasts too. But then again, I'm a lot fucking different than those druggies. Because I'm not a druggie. Meanwhile, every time I tried to turn these police in, they would manipulate the medical community. Every fucking time. I try to tell people what's going on, but they see the slander. They see the one side that was allowed to be shown. They never show mine. Tony Kovaleski, when I called Denver 7, and I tried repeatedly, hey, you guys ran a fucked up story. People are telling me I should sue all these people. You can't sue when you have no money for a fucking lawyer and you're called mentally ill and you have nobody to go in with you. Who cares? Yeah, I could have literally made $1 million off of Lolatai assaulting me alone. I could have made another $1 million off what they fucking did to me at Clearview. If someone fucking cared. Hell, you could fucking help me. You could have all the goddamn money. It's not about the fucking money. It's about stopping the fucking abuse. This shit for me started almost 40 years ago. I went into the system at 4 years old. Let me explain something to you. Their help. When you are being abused by your predators and they can call you mentally ill, the help that you get, number one, discredits you. Number two, takes away your right to defend yourself. If you're given psychotropic medications, you're no longer allowed to own a firearm. If you're put in a mental hospital, you're no longer allowed to own a firearm. So you can't defend yourself with a gun, and you can't defend yourself in court. Meanwhile, that conversation with my Aunt Mary, I asked her, plain and simple, on that telephone call, Aunt Mary, was I locked up as a kid because I was a bad kid, or was I locked up because my parents couldn't stay off the cocaine? And she says loud and clear, because your parents couldn't stay off the cocaine. So my right to defend myself no longer exists, because my parents couldn't stay off the fucking drugs. And people are like, dude, fucking, how do you know? How do you know? Because I've grown up with this my whole fucking life. Anytime one of these goddamn druggies does something fucked up, first of all, they want help getting out of it every fucking time, and they want that help right fucking now. When you need help, they're like, fuck it, dude, I gotta fucking go get my fix. Or, hey, man, like, I didn't realize that you thought I would ever actually do something. I mean, fuck, I'm a druggie. What do you expect? This is what I'm having to deal with. When you're disabled and you don't have an advocate, you don't have anyone to speak for you. Like, that's the thing, is that through all of this, I don't have anyone to do that. That leaves me even more vulnerable. And that's what I've been trying to explain to every single one of these people who treat me like a villain, because I am fucking at the end of my goddamn rope. Help me or fucking kill me, for Christ's fucking sake. With that kind of money, I could help a lot of people. I could get some property. My own property, where I'm safe. I'm not safe here. I'm not safe here because I've never been allowed to defend myself against the slander. I've never been allowed to show the evidence in court. I never wanted to show any of this shit on YouTube or on Facebook. I wanted it to come out in court. But my own public pretenders made sure that no evidence was ever allowed. No investigations were ever completed. Most of my public pretenders didn't even show up to fucking court repeatedly. At least with Pamela Cardi, when she didn't show up, it didn't cost me 200 fucking bucks. When these guys did wrong to me, it doesn't matter. They dropped the charges 3 months later in Lolitai's case. It's the fact that I was abused and they never investigated that. It's the fact that that felony assault against an officer who assaulted me. Yeah, he got away with it. All of these officers got away with it. No matter what, when I try to speak, I get interrupted. I'm not allowed to fire my fucking public pretenders for not doing their fucking jobs. They threaten, harass, and intimidate me into signing paperwork. I don't know what this paperwork means, and they don't tell me the repercussions of signing this shit. Meanwhile, when it all comes out in the fucking wash and the things don't come out the way that they promised, yeah, it's pretty obvious all they were doing was covering their own asses. They didn't want to do their jobs. If they spent less time trying to convince their clients to plead guilty to shit, they might not be as incredibly fucking hated as they are. When you're poor, going to a public pretender is like a Jew walking up to a Nazi and saying, hey, why don't you just take me to the oven, bud? We all know how this is going to turn out. I don't have a power of attorney. Rather than understanding my disabilities, they've exploited them for the last 4 years. Destroyed my ability to take care of myself and then tell me I'm not taking care of myself as their excuse for doing the shit they did. No, the shit that you did prevents me from taking care of myself. Everywhere that I went, people take advantage of me. Everywhere that I fucking go. All I need is for someone to fucking speak up for me. To hear my words and look at my evidence and help me to organize it and get it to where it needs to fucking go. I didn't ask for this. I didn't ask for how you treat me for being different. I didn't ask to be different. I didn't ask for your fucking cruelty. And all you new guys that are gonna fucking bombard me with these goddamn questions. I've been answering these fucking questions for 4 goddamn years. I know you don't mean anything fucking personal by it. But I've been through 4 years of people asking me those goddamn questions. I type them to them, and people take everything fucking wrong, which is why I make these fucking videos. If you can't go back through and I have to re-explain it to every new fucking person to this page, please fucking kill me. The only people who followed along from the beginning are my fucking predators. I don't need any of you to tell me to call a bunch of fucking numbers. If you're not here in person to make the phone calls with me, fuck you. There's a pretty good fucking chance that I called that place already, and even if I haven't, without you making that phone call with me, it doesn't make any fucking difference. Without you looking at the fucking evidence with your own 2 goddamn eyes, it doesn't make any fucking difference. I'm tired of sending people stuff. I'm tired of starting over with every fucking person. Here's the evidence. And there's so much of it. Like, how am I supposed to send all of these files when they're bigger than I can hold on any one of my computers? And I gotta shuffle them from this one to that one to do this with them. I mean, holy fucking shit. I'm not saying you're bad people. I'm saying you're bad people as soon as you throw me away. And you're probably gonna throw me away. I'm probably gonna get sick of you making the same suggestions over and over again. If you don't make the same suggestions over and over again, that'll make you completely different from everybody else. If I explain to you that something is not going to work and you want to keep on pushing it on me, you just need to go the fuck away. All right? I am tired of people talking to me like I am fucking retarded. I am the one in this situation. I am. When you start making suggestions and you're asking questions that show that you don't know what the fuck is going on, but you still want to make suggestions, stop making suggestions and listen. Stop telling me what to do based off of your ignorance and go back through the videos and listen. I'm overwhelmed. Yes, I understand that I don't communicate well when I am fucking overwhelmed. So help me to get less overwhelmed. Stacking more shit on top of me and abusing me more is not helping. All these people, when I try to turn in my predators for the fucked up shit they're doing, how many of these motherfuckers say it's not their fault? If you're a police officer and I'm talking to you, I'm probably trying to turn in a fucking crime, asshole. If you're saying it's not your fault, when I'm telling you about the crimes that have been committed against me, you're not doing your job. You are automatically making fucking excuses. You're already trolling for any excuse not to do your fucking job. It's not my fault. Hey, if I tell you that my neighbor raped me and you say it's not my fault, motherfucker, I didn't say it was your fault. I'm telling you because I need help. People say I can't dare. Cannot dare compare being called mentally ill or being homeless with being black. You're right. It's worse than being black. You're more victimized than if you were black. You're right. There is no fucking comparison there whatsoever. Over half of those killed by police last year were disabled. Almost half of them were homeless. The homeless only account for less than 1% of the population. Between 450,000 and 2 million, depending on which statistic you want to pull it from, which website you want to pull it from. Now let's look at the population of black folks in America. 60 million. 60 million. That's a lot, right? It's around 13% of the population. The homeless, how much do they account for? Less than 1%. Less than 1% accounts for nearly half of those killed by police. And most of those homeless people were unarmed. And you got situations where Sammy Leon Lawrence IV has a walking stick. He's not trying to, obviously, not trying to threaten them with a weapon, but that's the way that they play it off. That's the way that the police play it off. And you should have figured that they weren't going to get away with the racist narrative. They couldn't blame those situations on Smiley. That was Officer Lolatai. And Officer Lolatai is darker than them, so it can be a racist thing. There's a reason they hire people like Lolatai. There's a reason that they picked a steroid-using black man, or wannabe black man or quasi black man. I really don't know his racial heritage. I don't fucking care. I care how he treats human beings. His skin color does not make it okay. What happened to Waylon Lolatai? Well, let's see if we can get this other computer to turn on real quick. A lot of people say you're so lucky you got this and you got that. You should just be happy with what you got. Are you fucking kidding me? I don't even know how to use this shit. I need help. I'm buying the stuff that people say, hey, Sean, you need to get this or you need to get that, and then I can help you. Well, I'm fucking trying. I'm jumping through the hoops. I'm getting fucking nowhere. I'm overwhelmed. Part of the reason for showing you in person is so that you will have a visual reference and you'll stop making those stupid suggestions over and over again. And I know a lot of y'all are going to take an insult to me saying stupid suggestions, but you know what? That's the thing, is that if you're telling someone what to do instead of listening, you're not doing them any good. You're not learning any more about the situation. I've got so many people like Tony. All I needed him to do was tell the fucking truth. But you can tell in that conversation between he and I on the YouTube here, he's like, you called me for advice. Well, no, I didn't call you for advice, asshole. I called you because I need you to tell the truth. On the bright side, he admitted to being a coward. He suggested what many of you guys suggest. Will you ever think about leaving the country? You ever think about moving, Sean? I've moved over 40 times in the last 4 years. So yeah, I've not only thought about moving, I've moved. Without a safe environment of my own, I am at the mercy of everyone. Anyone can victimize me. Anyone.
As a business focused on profit and not patients.
There was an immediate threat to life and limb.
And that's why the state took the most serious action possible.
When we entered the facility, we immediately identified significant violations.
This video confirms the concerns discovered by the state. Our cameras rolled as patients were removed from the facility.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Holy shit. They said they cleared out most of the place, but there are 3 people there who took part in the assaults against me. Holy shit. This is September of last year. This is 2 years. 2 years after I was there. Like, these fucking animals are still there. And I'm not talking about the patients. The patients aren't animals. They're treated like animals. The real animals are the staff. This is that Annabelle lady. Oh my God, she was seriously putting it on my wrist. I don't even get why the hell she was getting off on that so much, but she was quite enjoying it. And then Brian, he was one of the ones who had me by the legs. Brian later told me that he was sorry. He didn't know that was going on. He has a special disease that makes part of his face not work right. Kind of like if you have a not an aneurysm, but the one that paralyzes half your face. I know the name of it. It's fuck it, I can't remember. A stroke, that's what it is. But it wasn't a stroke. It was just his face is basically lazy, I guess is the way he was explaining it.
Facility. The decision came just a few days after the state conducted a surprise inspection. It came after inspectors got a clear view of what was happening inside. Problems so significant, the state made the decision to close Clearview.
Effective today, they are no longer in operation.
The move follows.
Yeah. The problem is, damage for my life is already done. The problem is that the police, Will and Lolatai, was able to get away with what he did because his fellow officers covered for him. I was taken to Clearview. This right here, this is from September of last year. There was actually 2 people that ended up dead there. One of them was a woman, and her name was unreleased. There's also at least 5 people who committed suicide immediately upon being released from there.
Months of complaints from patients, family members, current and former.
All right, we're going to stop. Now they're going to explain that former people who worked there even complained. And I'm certain that's true. But the other thing is that they didn't listen to any of the patients at all until their families spoke up. And that's what I've been trying to explain from the beginning. You guys got lots of great fucking ideas, but your great fucking ideas have been tried. Without someone here in person who gives a shit, I'm fucked. There is no way that I can recover physically or financially from what they've done. There is no way that without someone else to help, to actually go through this stuff with and pull out all of the stuff that we can actually identify, the people that we can identify. Because a lot of these people, they need to have some sentences handed down. I wasn't kidding when I said I wanted to kill these motherfuckers with time. That's the only way to do it. If you kill them, you set a bad fucking example. And absolutely, Flamey. Flamey posted up a bunch of pirate flags just now. Arr! If the law says that you can't defend yourself, the law does not apply to you. If the law says that people can threaten to kill you and you can't do anything, the law doesn't apply to you. When the law says that people can threaten to murder your family and you can't do nothing, the law doesn't apply to you. And for damn sure, if someone is putting their nasty cockbeaters on you right this fucking moment, if the law says you can't defend yourself, then the law does not apply to you. Ignore the fucking laws. Ignore them. Your life is more important than a sheet of paper that the cops and the judges and the public pretenders aren't going to follow anyway. They're not going to follow it. You're fucked either way. But at least in one of those scenarios, you are still alive and your assailant might possibly get in trouble. If you're called mentally ill, you're fucked, and I recommend just letting them kill you. That was my mistake. Oh, wait, no, it wasn't. It's not my fault that none of these cowards followed through. Blamey typed, China is going to kill Australia. Why is that, Flamey? These people don't mean nothing personal by it. I'm sure of that. In most cases, anyway. You're at trade war at the moment. Well, that's fine. The United States has been at a trade war with China my entire life, and we have never had a problem getting Chinese goods. It's not a joke. No matter how many trade embargoes and sanctions and crap or whatever that we have where we're saying that we're not friends with China, no matter how many tensions there have been with China, we still have made in China manufactured on most of the shit that I own. Flamey type, build American, buy American. I'm not sure if you noticed, Flamey, but American craftsmanship ain't what it used to be. We don't build it any better than the Chinese do. We just put on a fucking price tag that's 10 times as much. Why does it cost 10 times as much to buy crap made in the United States? Why is it cheaper to get cheap crap from China that, from what I've been noticing recently, their cheap crap in China is actually lasting longer than my American-made goods? Don't get me wrong, I got American-made goods that are lasting, but there's a reason that they're lasting. They're built to last. I mean, let me find my fucking drill. It's a corded drill. This thing is older than fucking Jesus. See this thing right here? See this? This thing is old. Look at that. It's got an actual metal body on it. Not only that, this is one of the crappiest brands that you can get in this country today. The Black & Decker. But this thing, it wasn't made this year. It wasn't made last year. Matter of fact, this was probably made before I was born, based on the plastic that's on it. I'd say it's probably the 80s or earlier. Based on the colors on it, I'd say the 70s or earlier. It was made in the 70s. It's older than me. I was born October 18th, 1980. But look at this thing. Look at it. It's all metal. Looks like a friggin' alien space ray from the 1950s shows, don't it? I wonder where this was made. You know, I pulled this out of a garbage can. Somebody bought a brand new DeWalt. God, that was expensive for them. They wanted something with batteries. I'm like, well, shit. I'll pull this out of the garbage can. I'll get it working. Oh, no, Schwartz, you can't get that fixed. That thing is so old, you can't even get replacement parts for it. Fuck, I popped it open, knocked some of the friggin' grease off, wiped off the contacts, and fucking put her back together. Good to go. I also got my beard stuck in it, so I'm pulling some hairs out. Flamey type, very true, very. Yeah, I know. What can we do then, son? It's old as balls, lol. Well, we can continue dumpster diving. I'd rather have this trash that I know that'll work tomorrow. If it breaks, I can fix it myself. It's very difficult to burn up the coils on one of these. One thing I always been good at, even though I couldn't name the names of all of the parts in an electric engine or an electric motor, Janet Roberts, my old boss, she used to throw away a lot of vacuum cleaners. And I used to pull them out of the garbage can and I'd fix them. She was so surprised by the fact that I could fix her garbage or her vacuum cleaners that she used to pay me $10 a piece for them. She'd still throw them in the garbage. Then I'd pull it out, I'd fix it, and she'd pay me $10 for a brand new vacuum cleaner that she knew where I got it from. And it wasn't brand new, obviously. I didn't hide any of that. And, you know, some days she'd wave at me while I was pulling the thing out of the dumpster. Eventually, it got to the point where she didn't put them in the dumpster anymore. She lined them up in a row in her basement. And at the end of the week, if I had time, I'd go fix all the broken ones. Flamey type, would you classify yourself as a sovereign citizen? No, a sovereign citizen has rights. In order to be a sovereign citizen, you have to have your own property. Otherwise, you don't have the rights of a sovereign citizen. You are always on someone else's land. That's the problem with land ownership and greed. There's plenty of land for all of us to live here, but it all lays in the hands of 1% of the population.
Employees all asking the state to hold the owners of Clearview accountable. Are you saying that they billed for services they didn't provide?
Correct. Especially group therapy sessions.
Who's making the decision on discharges? Is it the medical professionals or the money managers, the administrators?
The administrators that are making the decision, and nobody says anything.
What does that say to you?
That it's all wrong.
2 insiders have said to us that this man, this father, didn't deserve to die.
No, he did not.
If he were better
This
cared
is the
for,
coroner.
would he be alive today?
Certainly more than likely.
Denver 7 has confirmed a former employee filed a complaint that sparked the most recent unannounced visit. His accusations included fraud and violating patient rights.
This organization was not able to operate the facility in a safe and appropriate manner on an ongoing basis.
Has the state ever done this before?
No, Tony, at least in my 17 years here at CDPHE, we have never closed a behavioral health hospital.
Now, the state also telling us they found a lack of infection protection for COVID-19 in the facility during this inspection last week. We reached out to Clearview for a comment.
They were
We
filthy when I
identified
was there,
ourselves
too.
on the phone. The call taker hung up. Attorney General will now continue the investigation and the process of officially closing Clearview.
Nice, huh? I'm gonna start another video just because I really should. I'm just gonna hop on and play a bunch of these videos and